Summer is almost here, and if you're a book lover, you know that means a lot of new summer book releases. So, with literally hundreds of new releases dropping every month, how can you be sure which books are worth not just your money to buy, but also your time to read? Hopefully, that's where I can help you. I have spent the past month or so just scouring through all of the publishers' websites, Goodreads reviews for the ARC reviews of books, Bookstagram, finding out what everybody's interested in, what they've read before from those same authors. I've come up with a list of 15 books, and I'm hoping somewhere in there you'll be able to find one for you. Hi, I'm Michelle, and this is Grab a Cuppa with Michelle. If you've been on my channel, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Probably new because I'm a new channel just starting out. But again, as I said, my name is Michelle, and this is my space where I like to talk about all things story related, mostly right now, talking about just books. Hopefully, as my channel goes on, we'll be able to talk about maybe some book to film adaptations or TV series based on books. I love all things story related. I really think that stories are what connect us, give us a place to escape whenever this world gets too crazy. And more than anything, reading and stories just help us build empathy and connect better as a people. So if you're ready to hear about some good upcoming releases, got a little bit of everything. Got some mystery, some fantasy, some romance, some thriller, some horror. Get comfy, grab a cuppa, and come along. This book roundup is mostly going to be focused on just the month of June. I looked ahead into July and August, and there's a couple books that I'm not sure the exact release date for the US version of the release. That being said, also, so this video doesn't end up being super, super long, it's going to be long enough with 15 books on it. We are just going to stick to the month of June 2026. However, it's Memorial Day weekend here in the States. Memorial Day weekend usually heralds the beginning of summer, even though it doesn't start for a couple weeks actually. And I have two books coming up at the very, very end of May this upcoming week. And the first one I'm super excited about. That is The Midnight Train by Matt Haig. This book comes out on May 26th. Actually, both of these books, the two May ones, come out on May 26th, but comes out on May 26th. Now, I have not read The Midnight Library, which was another book by Matt Haig. This book, The Midnight Train, takes place in the same realm, like the same world. But from what I've understood, you don't have to have read The Midnight Library first. I do have it on my Libby app. I have maybe like 3 weeks to go before I can read it. So hopefully I'll be reading that one along with The Midnight Train. Brief summary of The Midnight Train. It's set in this kind of magical realm, and it focuses on our main character, Wielder. He's an 81-year-old man, and he's at the end of his life. He's been living all alone. Semi-spoiler, he dies. Not really a big spoiler because I haven't read the book, and it tells us that in the synopsis and in the blurb. But Wielder dies. In this realm, whenever you die, your life flashes before your eyes. All of the important moments, the moments that kind of defined you. And the way that you travel through those moments is on a midnight train. The key to the train is, and viewing these past events though, is you can't interfere in any way with the things that happened. Obviously, if Wielder didn't do anything to intervene in some past events of his life, then it would be a rather boring story. From what I can tell, he, like so many people, has some regrets with things that he could have done differently, and especially with, I believe, a woman that he loved. So this book, the question is, what would you do if you were given a second chance? And how would that affect not just your life, but the lives of others around you? Next up, still on May 26th, we have the book Dolly All the Time. This book is by Annabell Monaghan, and it's a contemporary romance. From what I've seen, it's kind of a rom-com. Dolly is our main character. I believe she's 39 years old, single mom, has to go back to her father's house in the town where she grew up to help out her father. He's getting older. I believe he needs some help around the farm. While she's there, she comes across our hero of the story, who is, I think, broken down on the side of the road with a flat tire. He's just coming off of a very public breakup. Public due to the fact that he is extremely wealthy and very well known. To kind of save face with the public, he convinces Dolly to enter into a sham of a relationship simply for the public eye. It's a familiar trope that's been done a lot in books, but it's usually kind of fun. Gives us that forced proximity. Two characters who are probably unlike each other in a lot of ways. However, soon sparks start to fly. So that one again, Dolly All the Time by Annabell Monaghan. Both of these books, The Midnight Train and Dolly All the Time, come out on May 26th. Now we're into the month of June. We have a lot of books coming out on June 2nd. First up, we have Man of My Dreams by Olivia Worley. This book, even though the title might lead you to think romance, it's actually a thriller. Our female main character is a writer. She's a very popular writer as far as with her publishing world and her professional life, has her life together. Romantically, however, she's pretty much a dud. She's out one day in the park, comes across this wonderful man. He's, of course, gorgeous, has it all together, very charismatic, and they start to build a relationship. It gets a little bit odd for our main character, though, whenever this man that she meets really has a lot of the same traits as the man in the book that she is writing, her main character. As the story goes on, it gets weirder and weirder because he doesn't just have a few of these traits, he's almost identical to the character that she was writing about. I've seen a lot of arcs for this book, really positive reviews, that it's a real pain. So if you're in the mood for a thriller at the beginning of June, this is one that you probably want to pick up. Again, Man of My Dreams by Olivia Worley. Next up, we have Road Trip by Mary Kay Andrews, also available on June 2nd. Now, I haven't read Mary Kay Andrews in quite a while. She's been writing for, I think, decades now. Her books are usually really fun, cozy reads, most of the time with a little bit of mystery sprinkled in. This story follows two sisters, different as night and day. One is a very proper school teacher. She does everything that she's supposed to do, lives her life by the book. The other sister is an actress and kind of, was always the golden child, the star, does whatever she wants, flies by the seat of her pants. When their mother passes away, the two sisters are left an inheritance. And there's a little bit of a mystery surrounding the inheritance. So that's is what keeps us guessing in the story. But also everything that I'm seeing, the two sisters, complete opposites, forced on this long road trip together across the country, is where the majority of the fun, really takes place. And the actual heart of the story is just not so much the inheritance and the mystery, but these two really opposite personality sisters being forced together for so long. So it is a forced proximity story, but not the romance that you're usually seeing that in. Instead, this is sisters. Next up, we have The Children by Melissa Albert. I'm seeing a ton of buzz about this book. I haven't read anything by her, but the story sounds really intriguing. The main character in the story, when she was a child, really kind of lived a double life. She and her brother grew up on an isolated Vermont farm. They were pretty much like, we'll just say, neglected, underfed, underloved, but their mother was a writer, and the stories that she wrote told about her two children. Stories were wildly popular, and in the stories, it was very different from real life. The kids lived in this magical realm, and a lot of people were just completely obsessed with these books. One night, whenever they're young, a fire breaks out, and I believe it takes their mother's life. The two children are left as orphans. Fast forward, the daughter in the book has kind of built her life around the fact that she was her mother's daughter, kind of skating forward on the name and what took place in the story. She's getting ready to launch a memoir on her life and on her mother's life. Her brother has become a famous artist. He's getting ready to launch an art show entitled Mother. There are some strange happenings that go on with the art show, some deaths that come into play, and it forces the daughter to confront some things that really did happen about her past, about the night of that fire. Like I said, I saw a lot of reviews for this book. I think it has a little bit of a horror element to it. And the master of horror himself, Stephen King, has reviewed this book and said that it is just fantastic. So if you're a horror fan, Stephen King fan, this is probably the book for you. Again, that's The Children by Melissa Albert, and it comes out on June 2nd. We went from a thriller to a cozy story to a horror story. Now we're going to go for some mythology. And the next up is Shadows of Sparta. That's by C.R. Jane. This is also out on June 2nd. This book is the first in a series, and it's a retelling of the story of Helen of Troy. Not just Helen of Troy, but King, I'm going to mess this up, King Menelaus, I can never pronounce his name right, and Achilles, a lot of what goes on in the court of Sparta. I personally, really, this isn't the kind of book for me, but again, looking through all of the different reviews, especially a lot of people that got ARCs on NetGalley, just absolutely love this book. So if you're into Greek mythology, or maybe even like the Philippa Gregory stories with the different queens and the retellings of their lives, this might be the one for you. Again, that is Shadows of Sparta by C.R. Jane, out June 2nd. We've covered thriller, horror, cozy vibes, mythology. We're going to switch it up and go for romantasy now. And that book, the one that I have for you, is Nobody's Quest by Alyssa Day. Hope I'm saying her first name right. Alicia. Again, this is a romantasy. Our female main character is an indentured servant in the king's palace. She's pretty much used to being ignored all of her life. She just kind of drifts into the background. So one day the king's guard approaches her, telling her that she specifically is needed by the king. She thinks there has to be some kind of mistake. She's always ignored. Whenever she goes in with the king into the throne room, he gives her a set of enchanted keys and tells her that she is the only one who can help him to solve kind of the mystery that's going on in the kingdom, because the whole palace, everything is, the world is basically burning around them. So he sets her off on a quest. She's a nobody. She has to go on this quest to save the kingdom. So it is a fantasy, but here's where the romantasy part comes in, because the prince is accompanying her along on the journey. We get the mystery, we get some magic battles, some magical creatures, I believe, that come into it. And of course, sparks do start to fly. From what I've seen with the reviews of this book, this is one of the heroines that people just, once they read it, they're absolutely falling in love with her. She's really one of those heroes that come across that you just want to stand up and cheer for. I personally cannot wait to read this one. And just as a side note, I saw the cover, the edition, the UK edition on it, and it's just really gorgeous. I might have to go open up my Waterstones account again and maybe have this one shipped over from the UK, because it just, I love a pretty book. Pretty book on the outside and the inside, though. Last up for June 2nd, we have The Secret Attic, and that is by Chelsea Conrad. Not sure. It's Conradt. So I think Conrad. I'm not really sure. Apologize at any time if I mess up the names of any of the authors on these. This is a thriller. If you're a fan of Riley Sager, this sounds like a book that would really interest you. I know I'm a huge fan of his. Let me scratch that. I'm a huge fan of most of his books. He's had a couple that have really been misses for me. He's kind of that, the ones that I like, I love, and the ones that I don't like, I really don't like them. This book sounds very much like something that he would write. We have our main character. She does not get along with her mother-in-law. I believe her mother-in-law's name is Barb. Barb passes away, leaves her estate to her son and daughter-in-law. They go to the estate, to this big old house, and as they're going through all the different rooms, going through the boxes, trying to clear up everything in the estate, it seems like every box that gets opened, every room that they go into, her husband kind of gets stranger and stranger. In addition to her husband's strange behavior, she starts to kind of unravel a mystery of what happened in Barb's previous life, maybe what made her the way that she is, the secrets that Barb actually did have. A lot of great reviews I'm seeing coming out for this one as well. Again, that one is The Secret Attic, also June 2nd by Chelsea Conrad. Okay, this next book, I debated on whether to include it or not because I'm here in the US. This book does not get released in the US. In June. I can't find a date for a United States release for it. However, it's getting released on June 4th in the UK. So maybe in addition to me ordering Nobody's Quest from Waterstones, I'm going to order this one as well because I can't wait to read this one. That one is The Deception by Jack Jordan. This book, if you're a fan of Squid Game, it really has those kind of vibes to it. Our main characters are a couple. They're married, they have a child. Unfortunately, their child is facing some serious illnesses, and he requires an operation to save his life. The parents simply do not have the money for their son to undergo this operation. A mysterious stranger shows up and offers them a possible solution. What they have to do is they have to complete a series of tasks. Each task that they can complete, they will get more and more money. Eventually, getting enough money, it can completely pay off the operation and save their son's life. The only problem is each one of these tasks is actually illegal. As the tasks go on, the crimes become more and more serious. Add into that as well, they're not the only ones competing in this game. There are other competitors as well. So yeah, definite Squid Game vibes to this one. From a couple people that I've seen that have read the arc for this, they absolutely loved it. They love his writing anyway. From what they're saying, even though it's similar to Squid Game, it's different than pretty much anything that they've read lately. And supposedly it's a real page turner and you can't put it down. The difference with your regular Squid Game, that was just about money. This book, the situation's not just about the money, but also taking care of your child. What would you do if you were faced with that same situation? If you had a child who was going to die, would you commit these crimes? Would you sacrifice, your own ethics and morality to save somebody that you loved? So, The Deception by Jack Jordan, UK release on June 4th. June 9th, I have two out for you on June 9th. The first one, this one is a bit of a psychological thriller, and that's The Breakup Retreat by Camilla Stein. Our main character in this one is a reporter. There's a very famous retreat set, I think, in the Swiss Alps, somewhere like in the woods, somewhere Nordic. Anyway, at this retreat, people go, pay a lot of money. It's very exclusive, very hidden, and supposedly if your heart has been broken, you can be healed at this retreat. Nobody talks about what really happens, their techniques, and oddly, there are some people that go to the retreat that are never heard from again. Our female main character, journalist, manages to get a reservation. Again, this is a very exclusive retreat. It's very hard to get into, but somehow she finagles one through a contact that she has who works at the retreat. She's able to smuggle in a phone so that she can record things, document everything that's going on. She's planning an expose that's going to blow this place right out of the water. Her contact is supposed to hook her up with everything when she gets there. However, when she gets there, dun, 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 contact is missing. This one is a thriller because not only is our journalist trying to find out what goes on at the retreat, but she's trying to locate her contact, figure out what happened to him, and as well, she is trying to save her own life that's now in danger. So, Breakup Retreat, due out June 9th by Camilla Stein. Next up, we have Light Wielder by Rachel Schneider. This is book 2 in, I think it's called the Fire and Metal series. The first book was Metal Slinger. This is the second book. I did not read the first book, but it's on my want to read list. From what I've seen, this book takes place 4 years after the first book. And our main character in this, Jovi, I'm not sure what happened, and I don't want to spoil too much from what I've seen on the synopsis, but she made a decision 4 years before. That decision helped with the kingdom. However, it destroyed the trust of, I think the character's name is Acker, the main male character in this. Whenever she made this decision, it betrayed his trust. So she's trying to earn that trust back. And at the same time, war is raging on within the kingdom, a lot of things taking place. Again, if you did not read the first one, which I haven't, reading too much of the synopsis for this one might be a bit of a spoiler because I saw some things in it. Just even knowing that Jovi kind of betrayed Acker, kind of that happened in the first book. So from what I've seen, though, the first book, people absolutely loved that book, Metal Slinger. And this one, just the arcs that I've seen that didn't have any spoilers, really follows up the similar kind of writing style, the similar pacing. So if you did like that one, if you're looking for some more fantasy, this one might be the one for you. And I did want to add that Light Wielder, along with the first book, I have put them all in one place for you. There's a link in the description below that will take you to my Amazon affiliate site where all of these books, I have them just completely straight listed. So if you don't want to waste any time, just click on the link below. Again, it takes you to my Amazon site and you can just click on the book that you want, have it shipped to you. Or if you're like me and you prefer to go to the bookstore instead of ordering through Amazon because you like the ambiance, like to smell the books, grab a cuppa. Then I do have all of the books also listed in the chapters on, so you can just screenshot it, take it to the bookstore. But if you are planning on ordering through Amazon, like I said, link is in the description below. You can just click on there. It'll help support my channel. And if you've made it this far anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. I'm a new channel. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be trying to post weekly, at least minimum, because I just love to talk about books and stories. Okay, so we're halfway through the month, June 16th. I have 2 books due out on June 16th for you that I think are going to be real bangers. The first one is The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. If you read the wildly popular 7-Year Slip, I think from was last year or the year before, anyway, it's not important. This is the same writer. In this story, we have our female main character. When she was younger, she and her best friend went to this, I think it's an estate, and visited the gardens. They just absolutely loved them. They both vowed that they would return to this estate, to this garden, in 10 years' time. Our FMC gets a job taking care of the garden, something of a groundskeeper. When she's taking care of it, this mysterious door appears in the middle of the garden. Beyond the door is an incredibly handsome and dashing man. However, the door disappears. The door reappears, but it's never in the same place. So she can't be sure when and where this man and this magical door are ever going to appear. At the same time, not just with the magic door, but strange things are taking place in the garden as well that she's trying to take care of. So I think we have a mystery, some potential romance, and also some magic all involved at the same time. Like I said, same writer as The 7-Year Slip. So if that's something that you enjoyed, like her style of writing, again, this one is The Secret Garden by Ashley Poston, due out on June 16th. The next one that we have on June 16th is a contemporary romance by K.A. Tucker, and that one is called North Country. This is a story of second chances. We have Emery, our female main character. When she was young, she was very much in love with Logan, and the two of them vowed together that they would get out of this town, never to return again, make a life for themselves somewhere else. Obviously, something happens, breaks them apart. We flash forward to Emery as an adult. She's a single mom. She's running the sheriff's department. At the same time, she's trying to deal with her ex-husband, who I believe is the mayor of the town. So she has a lot on her hands trying to balance everything. And who shows back up but Logan? But he's been in jail for a very long time for a crime that he was framed for. He did not commit, on a night that kind of changed the trajectory of everybody's lives involved. So if you're a fan of second chance romances, I understand there's a little bit of spice to this one. K.A. Tucker's new book, due out June 16th, North Country. Almost at the end of the month, I have 3 left for you. The first one is from popular writer Lisa Jewell, and that is It Could Have Been Her. This one, I'll be honest with you, I have seen vastly different opinions on this book, all by people who really do love Lisa Jewell, and they're big fans. I've only read one of Lisa Jewell's books so far. None of this is true. Absolutely loved it. But from what I'm starting to understand, looking at some different reviewers, she's kind of like Riley Sager. I think they're both the kind of writers that I like, where they swing for the fences. They try something different. They don't just go with the same old formulaic characters and plot lines. And unfortunately, sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. Our main character in this story is out walking one night on her estate, and she comes across this little stray white dog. The collar has a name and address on it, and she realizes very quickly that the name that this dog is registered to is a girl, a teenager who's missing. It's been on the local news, and whenever she sees the address, something clicks in her brain. Years before, she had been at this house where this address was, and it was some really creepy stuff that was going on. She was in the house, and she did end up leaving. When she goes now to return the dog, there's a man who's at the house, and the answers that he's giving her to some of the questions that she's asking simply don't add up. So, based on what happened to her previously at this house, along with this missing girl, she starts to investigate. And again, just so you know, if you're a fan of this kind of book, if you like thrillers with a little bit of a mystery and suspense in them, this could be a 5-star read for you. This could be a 2-star read. Wasn't sure whether to include it, but it is one of the most popular authors that's coming out with a new book. So I wanted to put it in. I'm still going to get this book. I really enjoyed None of This Is True. I liked Lisa Jewell's style of writing. I like books that are set in England. So I figure I'll give it a shot. If you're a fan of Lisa Jewell and you've read some of hers, please let me know in the comments if you found this to be true about her books as well. That they're books that you either really, really love them or just they really fall flat for you. And also, if you're a fan of hers, like I said, I read None of This Is True. I really liked it a lot. Let me know which one of hers I should read next. And that one is available on June 23rd. Also available on June 23rd is 9 Lives by Catherine Steadman. This one, I think, also takes place in England. So in 9 Lives, our main character recently went through, I'm not sure if it was a divorce or a break or just a breakup in a relationship, and she is living in this very posh English neighborhood. The synopsis says that she's a bit of a busybody. I'm from Pittsburgh. Here we like to say she's nebby, and she's nebbing into the lives of all of the people that live around her. One of the ways she's doing this is she has this very expensive cat that goes out at night, and she has a little camera on the cat's collar. So with the neighbors, I'm assuming there are 9 of them. She's kind of getting a glimpse into what goes on behind closed doors at their house. One night, her cat returns home, and on the collar, the words "Help me" are scratched. She's going back through the footage, trying to find out exactly who did this, what's going on, and she becomes mixed up in this whole crazy scenario. This one sounds really weird, but really fun, and I can't wait to read it. Again, that's 9 Lives by Catherine Steadman. And we've reached the end of June. I have one more book for you. Before I give you that one, though, again, if you're enjoying my content, please, please, please don't forget to give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, please follow me. What I have coming up at the end of May, I'm going to Pittsburgh Book Festival. It's a huge book festival put on by Pittsburgh Carnegie Library. So I will be doing a wrap up of that. My end of May reading wrap up. I do have some books and some bookish things that I ordered that I'll be doing an unboxing for, and just various different little reviews around the month of June and July. So again, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and potentially give me a follow, help a new channel out. Thank you. Okay, so last book for the month of June that I found noteworthy to put on here. It's out June 30th, and that is The Witch Season by Julia Bianco. In this book, our female main character is in charge of a faction of a coven of witches in Los Angeles. She kind of protects them, being that they're from California on the West Coast. They're a little bit different, a little bit more open, a little bit they go by more contemporary rules. She is visited by the main male character. He's from a very old school, very wealthy faction of witches, his coven on the East Coast. He's not a fan of these newfangled techniques in the Los Angeles witch coven, and they're clashing a little bit over that. At the same time, there is somebody from outside of their covens that is coming in. They're threatening like the whole witch population in general, like the overarching organization of all of the covens. There is somebody that's threatening to destroy that. So we have the enemies to lovers trope, a little bit, a fantasy with witches. We also have the mystery of what's going on and some potential danger. This one sounds really good. I haven't read a good witchy kind of book in a while. I might buy it in June, but maybe put it off more towards Halloween, towards spooky season. And that's it for the roundup on upcoming new June summer 2026 releases. Hopefully you were able to find at least one on here that piqued your interest, maybe 2, maybe 3. Hopefully not all of them, because that could put you in some serious debt for the month. Again, I'm Michelle. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and safe summer. Happy reading. Bye-bye.